she did the algebra portion of what we need to do for exam questions. We're going to be looking at the trigonometry section of this. So I'm going to ask you guys quickly. I want you guys to calculate for theta for me. Remember, this is all a recap. If you're joining us for the first time, we've done a lot of these questions. So please make sure that you are watching the recordings that come before. We do a thorough explanation of everything that's about to happen now on the screen. All right, I'm going to start with our mnemonic device. So, Toa, if you're feeling confident, you can put your hand up and we can solve this together. If you're not feeling very confident about putting your hand up and speaking, you can pop in the chat, what do you think you're going to do first? You can even pop in the chat, what do we have and what we want? And we can take it from there, okay? Tell me what it is we're going to be doing in this particular question, guys. Oh, that's it, Lesedi. That's it, excellent. Lesedi's already got everything that's going here. Good. They've given us, here's my angle in relation to my angle. This is my adjacent side. And this is my opposite side. Good. So what have they given us? They've given us up and adjacent. What are we looking for? We're looking for our angle theta. And tell me in the chat, guys, when we look for angle theta, what do we do? What do we do? What do we need to do, guys? Who remembers? When we're looking for an angle, that's it. We need to shift. That's it, Mirula. We need to click shift. We need to shift angle. Don't forget to shift angle, guys. Okay. Lesedi and Mirula, you guys are doing the most. Excellent. So we're going to go tan of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. Because that's what we have. We've got up and adjacent. So we've got between Solka and Toa, we'll be using Toa. And we can go tan of theta is equal to my opposite, which is 3, divided by my adjacent, which is 3. Theta is equal to arctan. Yes, Apiwe, but 45 watt. 45 watt. What are we calculating for? Therefore, theta is equal to 45 watt, guys. That's it. Ooh, not units. What are we looking for? What is theta actually standing in place of, guys? It's not units. Lusanda, you've got the right idea. Good. It's an angle, therefore it must be in degrees. Okay, good one, Mirula. Okay, so we need to remember to add our little degrees sign. Otherwise, we're calculating for a side. And we're not calculating for a side, we're calculating for an angle. So we need to make sure that we're doing that 100% correctly. All right. Okay, let's look at the next question. Also a recap question. We're now trying to calculate for the side X. Now, think about what we have, what do we have, and what do we want? This one is like hype, and op. Okay, we do not have the hype and the op. Okay, we need to think about what we do have. Have a look. What have they given us? Okay, they've given us the hype. You're correct. They've given us the hypotenuse. Good. We've got the hypotenuse. What other information have they given us? They've given us this time. They've given us the angle. They've given us the angle, 45 degrees. What do they want from us in relation to our 45 degrees? They want the adjacent side. So Lusanda, you were 100% correct there. We want the adjacent. Okay, so they've given us the hypotenuse and the angle. They want the adjacent. Between saw, car, and tower, guys, which one are we using? Between saw, car, and tower, I'm going to have to keep writing saw, car, tower somewhere. That's it. That's it. We're going to use car, which is cos, right? Because car has adjacent and hypotenuse. So we're going to go cos of, but they've given us the angle this time, so we don't have to write theta. We're not going to be clicking shift because they've given us the angle. So we don't need to click shift. So this is going to be cos of 45 degrees is equal to my adjacent, which is x, that's what I'm looking for, over hypotenuse, which is 17. Now, if I want to get rid of this divided by 17, what do I need to do, guys? If I want to get rid of divide by 17, I need to, that's it, gift. Hello, gift. That's it. We need to times by 17. I need to multiply by 17. And whatever I do on the right-hand side, I also need to do on the left-hand side. So I'm going to multiply the side by 17 as well. Now 17 divided by 17, those two will cross cancel and they will give us 1. So if I want to calculate for x, I need to go x is equal to 17 cos of 45 degrees. Please make sure you give me this answer in decimal form. I know, because it's a length. We're looking for a length of a side. Make sure you click that SD button at the end and give me an answer, please. So you're going to grab your calculator, click there, 17 cos of 45, go for it. Ooh, Samuel says 12,02. Is it going to be degrees, Samuel? Are we calculating for an angle? Kagiso, you're on the money. Obakeng, that's it. No, we're not calculating for an angle, so we can't use degrees. That's it, David. We can use units. Or in this case, because our 17 doesn't have a unit either, you can just leave it as the answer that you got. Okay, which in this case is going to be 12,02. Just for good measure, let's put units there. All right, we're going to add units in. All right. Okay, now this is as far as we've gotten. We're going to be looking at angles of elevation and depression again. Okay, now only two decimal places. Okay, only 2 decimal places. All right, so we have spoken about angles of elevation and depression before. We're going to be extending that a little bit in today's lesson. So we're going to start looking at a question quickly that just reminds us of what angles of elevation and depression are. Now, I'm going to draw Mirula again because I really liked how he looked last time. There he is with these tiny little pants. And Mirula had a mohawk. He had a mohawk last time we spoke. There's Mirula. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's it. Yo. No problem, Micah. Okay, Micah's gone. All right, guys. Right, so we're going to be looking at, I told you guys, I'm a whole Pablo Picasso. All right, so if Mirula is over here at the bottom, right, and we're going to put a pin in the bottom over here, and there's a flagpole over here. This is my flagpole, and my flagpole is 10 meters long, right? And I want to buy a piece of rope, and this rope is going to go from the very top of my flagpole to the pin. So, and I know that from where I'm standing, the angle that's going to be made with my pin and the top of my flagpole is 30 degrees. It's 30 degrees. Now I want to know, what is the length of rope I need to buy? Length of rope. Okay, what is the length of rope I need to buy? Now remember, guys, angles of elevation and depression, same thing. Okay, sorry, that's the lightning alarm again. Okay, so we're going to use SOHCAHTOA. We're just going to be looking at this in scenario form, in story form. See, I can see David and Teacher Cat praising my my drawing skills, not even realizing that I didn't give Mirula any arms. There we go. There are his arms. Oh, excellent. Thanks, Teacher Cat. Okay. All right. So what are we going to use, guys? Let's think about what we've got here and what's happened over here. Okay. What is it that we're looking for? Good, Kahiso, that's it. Kahiso and Gift, you guys have got the right idea. Okay, we are looking for the hypotenuse. Good. And what do we have? Okay, that's what we want. We want, let me put it a little bit further up. Okay, what do we have? And what do we want? Okay, you guys are correct. We want the hypotenuse. What have they given us? In relation to my angle, I've got my opposite. Gift, you're on the money. Good. I've got my opposite and I've got my, what else have I got? They've given me the opposite. That's it, David. They've also given us the 30 degrees. 30 degrees, they've given us our angle. Now, if we have to think of SOHCAHTOA, we're going to use the SOH because that's sine. So we're going to have sine of my angle, which is 30 degrees, is equal to my opposite side, which is 10, over my hypotenuse, which is the length of the rope. I'm going to call it R. Now, I'm going to run into a bit of a problem here because my R is actually in my denominator. And I don't want my R sitting in my denominator. I want it sitting on its own because that's what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by R. Multiply the side by R, multiply the side by R. Or if you guys have been taught this, you can easily just cross multiply. Okay, because this is actually over 1 and you can cross multiply. But we're not going to do that in this case. Otherwise, it's going to get very complicated and you're going to forget the 1 and then you're going to cross multiply the 10. It gets complicated. So what we're going to do is we're going to go multiply by R on both sides. R divided by R will be 1, because then that will just give us 10. And then we will have R sine of 30 degrees is equal to 10. I want to get rid of the sine 30 degrees because I want to isolate R. How can I do that, guys? What can I do? I see up here we're saying transpose 100%. How are we going to transpose though? Are we going to plus or minus? Are we going to plus it on the other side? Are we going to divide it on the other side? Are we going to multiply it on the other side? Okay, we need to make sure that when we're saying we're transposing, we know that the transposition that needs to happen is the inverse operation. So because R and sine 30 are multiplied on this side, the inverse operation would be to divide. Okay, so I'm going to divide on both sides because what I do on the left, I must do on the right. Okay, so these two will cancel. Cancel, and that's how we're going to transpose. So if I want to find the answer for R, I need to go R is equal to 10 divided by sine 30. Punch that into your calculators for me, guys, and tell me what the answer is. $20 what, Gift? 20 what? Do not forget. Ooh, is it a degree, guys? What are we calculating for? What are we calculating for? Yes, Tandukolo and David, that's it. Please, guys, degrees is not the default. Please don't just say degrees. Remember, our flagpole is in meters. Therefore, whatever it is that we're going to answer in needs to be measured in meters. Therefore, we're going to get 20 meters. All right, guys, please don't forget. Okay, if we're calculating for an angle, then we write degrees. But if we're calculating for a side, it's either going to be units or whatever unit of measurement they've given us. Be very, very careful, guys. Okay. All right. Give me a thumbs up, guys. Are we okay with what's happened over here? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Tell me, are we doing okay? I see Kagiso with a thumbs up. Excellent stuff. Dudu says yes, 100%. Good stuff. Excellent. Naledi says yes. Gift says yes. I've got thumbs up all around. Amazing stuff, guys. Tabsile, if you're a little lost, that's okay, my sweetie. We're going to do a couple more examples just to make you feel comfortable. Okay, and then we're going to look at an exam question that we can possibly do. Swelihle as well gives me a thumbs up. Apiwe and Lesedi and Uratile. That's okay. All right. Let's look at a couple of scenarios that we're going to have to interpret. Over here, I've given you guys a nice, easy drawing, and I've told you what it is I'm looking for. Now we're going to have to look at these questions, and we're going to have to interpret what's happening. All right, so it says here, from an airplane at an altitude of 1,200 meters, and you guys will notice that I'm highlighting all the important information. Now, I've got an airplane at 1,200 meters, at an altitude of 1,200 meters. It says that the angle of depression, we know we're going to have an angle of depression, to a building, so that there's a building somewhere on there, on the ground, measures 28 degrees. 28 degrees is also very important. Okay, find the distance from the plane to the building. So what's happening is, on my ground over here, I've got a building. There's my building on the ground. Give it some windows. I think I should become an artist. I think, quit my day job, become an artist. Okay, so this is relative to the ground. We're going to draw like a straight line relative to the ground. Now, up here on the top somewhere, I have got an aeroplane. Okay, it's supposed to look like an aeroplane. It doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's an aeroplane, kind of. I didn't say I'd be the best artist. Teacher can't stop judgment. Stop with the judgment. All right. You know, David, I'm going to do art as a side job. Yes. All right. So from an airplane to an altitude of 1,200 meters. So they're telling us that our airplane is at an altitude from the building, 1,200 meters above the ground from the building. No, Gift, it's not a rocket, it's an airplane. This is 1,200 meters. I can't believe you guys. All right, so it says now, from here to the building, my angle, oh, sorry, I'm lying. Okay, over here actually, because my plane is flying in a straight line. My angle of depression, which is going to be my angle coming down this way, is going to be 28 degrees. That's my angle of depression, right? Now they want to know, we want to find the distance from the plane to the building. So we're looking for this distance from here to here. All right, anybody got any ideas? What are we going to do? They've given us some sort of information. Your queen. Yeah, that's a harsh one. That's a harsh one. All right. Anybody got any idea where we would possibly start with such a question? Let's think about what they've given us, what we need to do in this case, where we can take it from there. It's okay, Queen. No, don't worry. I'm not going to quit my day job. It's fine. I won't quit my day job. What are we going to do, guys? Anybody got any idea? Think about the information we have, guys. Oh, Akwando, that's it. Yes, absolutely, Lesedi. So we think about this. They say that the airplane is flying, right, at an altitude of 1.2 at an angle of depression to the ground. So we know that it's traveling straight, and our ground is also going to be kind of straight. So these two things will be parallel. And if this is 28 degrees, that tells us that our alternating angle, which will be this one over here, will also be 28 degrees. Right. Good. We can start there. This is 28 degrees over here. Right. Now let's look at the information that they've given us. What do we have, guys? What have they given us in relation to our angle? What do we have? Okay, this is my angle over here. That side is going to be called something in relation to my angle. That's it, Akwando. Good. Just remind everybody that we are SOHCAHTOA-ing. Don't forget, we are still SOHCAHTOA-ing. Nothing has changed. Okay, it's still SOHCAHTOA. We just need to look at it from the perspective that they've given us here. They have given us our theta, or our degrees, our angle, and they've given us our opposite side. Good, they've given us our opposite side. What do we want, guys? What do we want? Look at what the question is asking. The question is asking for the distance from the plane to the building. So they want this distance here. What can we consider this distance to be? That's it, Swelihle. That's it. 100%. Yes, Patu. It's the hypotenuse. So, which ratio are we going to use here? I'm just going to write this over here. Which are we going to use? Between SOHCAH and TOA, which one are we going to use? Good, we're going to use the SOH of it. Okay, good. We're going to use SOH. So we're going to go sine of, I already know what my angle is. My angle is 28 degrees, is equal to opposite, and my opposite side is 1,200 over my hypotenuse, which is what we want, our hypotenuse. Okay, no worries, Liabona. Hi, Umulemo. All right, what is my next step, guys? I don't like that my h is sitting in the denominator. It's divided by. How do I get rid of the divide by? What am I going to do? That's it. Good. We're going to multiply both sides by h. Yo, you put it so beautifully, Lesedi. 100%. That's it, Katleho. Kahiso. No, I'm saying Katleho. Yes. Okay, so we're going to multiply by h, then h divided by h will give us 1. Those two will cancel. And then I need h on its own. So now I've got h sine of 28 degrees is equal to 1,200. What am I going to do, guys? What's my next step? Good, Mirula. We're going to divide. We're going to divide this side by sine 28 degrees. Divide by sine 28 degrees. Okay, those two will cancel because they'll give us 1. Therefore, my height, or in this case, my hypotenuse, the distance, is equal to, punch it into your calculator, guys, and give me an answer. Remember to round off properly. Teacher Kat's caught me out on a couple of occasions there. Hi, Omolemo, what's up? Now, Samuel, you need to give me a measurement. Good, a unit of measurement. That's a Tandukolo. Hi, Omolemo.
Hi, ma'am.
How are you go? How are you doing, Masudi?
I'm doing good, ma'am.
What's up?
No, ma'am, I wanted to answer, so I see like they said the answer.
Yes, all right. They've already given me the answer, but don't put your hand down because we're going to do a couple more. Okay. Don't
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Leave your hand up. I love it. All right. Good. Good. Apiwe and Kahiso and Tabsile, Tandutrolo, Samuel. Oh, you guys are just on the money. I love it. Apiwe, you've made a tiny mistake. You've given us 3 5s instead of just 2. So the answer we should have gotten here was 2,556,07 meters. Do not forget the meters, guys. Okay. So we need to, yeah, that's okay. Okay. 2,556,07 meters. Very well done. All right. Give me another thumbs up, thumbs down. How are we feeling about what's just happened in this question? I didn't think it was that difficult, guys. I think we're doing okay. I think the questions aren't that difficult to interpret. We just need to make sure that we know, as the English, in these kind of questions, the English, it must English. You know what I mean? The English must English, because we need to understand what's happening. You know what I mean? Okay, excellent. Let's have a look at this next one over here. The next one says, from a point on the ground, okay, so we're starting on the ground. This is going to make that 12 meters. From a point on the ground, 12 meters from the base of a flagpole. All right, so we're going to start with a point on the ground. From a point on the ground, 12 meters away, so somewhere 12 meters away, there is the base of a flagpole. There's a base of a flagpole. Here's my flagpole. Hello, flagpole. The English is not Englishing. Okay, good. Flagpole. All right. I know they run out sometimes. They do. We're going to make it a red flagpole. But okay. Now it says the angle of elevation of the top of the pole. So we know that we've got an angle of elevation is 53 degrees. 53 degrees. Okay. How tall is the flagpole? How tall is the flagpole? So they want to know how tall our flagpole is. How tall are you? Okay. All right. I want you guys to think about it. Think about what you're going to use. Remember, we still need to SOHCAHTOA. We're still SOHCAHTOAing. Okay. Think about all the things that need to happen in this particular question. Yo, Akando, you are fast. All right. Umulimo and I are going to have this conversation while you guys pop your answers in the chat. Okay. Go ahead and calculate, guys, and tell us what we're going to do. All right. Umulimo, do you want to unmute? Let's you and me, let's have a conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. What do we have, Umulimo? What do I have?
Ma'am?
What do I have? What information have they given me? About it.
Ma'am?
They've given us some information. Look at my drawing and tell me what have they given us?
The
Okay. What is this? What do we call this? What is this part?
which part, ma'am?
This one. It's an angle. It's an angle, my sweetie. Okay, not that deep. It's an angle. It's 53
right
degrees.
angle.
Ooh, no, well, not a right angle. 53 degrees.
Reflective.
So the right angle would have to be 90 degrees. Now, tell me, Umulimo, if this is my angle, what is this side? The one right next to my angle? Which side? Is it the adjacent, the opposite, or the hypotenuse? This side over here.
Ma'am. Ma'am, it's my first time doing trigonometry, ma'am. I don't know.
Is it? Oh, okay. So, Umulimo, you're going to have to watch all the videos that we've done so far, okay? Because we are way ahead. Like, we've done all the trig already, okay? So we need to understand everything that's happening over here before we can look at answering these questions. Okay, so we've done a 6-part series on trigonometry, and you can find all of those tapings on our website. Okay, you're going to have to go through those. Okay, all right, I'm going to ask everyone in the chat though while we're at it. What do we want, guys? What do we want? Ooh, do we want the hypotenuse? I don't think they want the hypotenuse. Akwando and David and Kagiso and Tandupolo, that's it. Okay. That's it. Good. Because we're looking for our flagpole, the height of our flagpole, in relation to our angle, this side is going to be our opposite side. Good. So this becomes up. Okay. And Patu's done already. Patu is already done. Okay, good. We're looking for the opposite. So between SOHCAH and TOA, which one are we using, guys? That's it, David. We're going to use TOA. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to go straight in. 10 of 53 degrees is equal to my opposite, which is the side I'm looking for. My opposite over my adjacent, which is 12. And if I want to get rid of that divide by 12, I'm going to multiply both sides by 12. Okay, so 12 divided by 12, 1. So my opposite is going to equal to 12 times tan of 53 degrees. Therefore, the opposite is equal to, I'm seeing many of you saying 15,92. I'm going to agree with you. Yes, that's the answer I got. 15,92. And I love that you guys have written meters in there. Well done, Patu Tandukolo, Samuel. You guys are doing the things. Okay. Excellent. All right. Okay, let's look at one more. I think we've actually got time for one more. All right. I want you guys to interpret this question. Before I even draw anything, I want you guys to draw something. Okay, take out your piece of paper. Remember, you're not watching me do the math. We're doing the math together. I want you guys to draw what's happened in this question and try and figure out what it is that they want from you. Okay, I'm going to give everybody 3 minutes to give me an answer. So I don't want you to give me like what we have, what we want, what we're doing. No, no, no. I want you guys to go straight to the answer. Pop your answer in the chat when you're done. And then we're going to compare to see if we're going to get the same thing. Okay, Tafsile, does that help? All right, and think about what they're saying here, guys. They're talking about an angle of depression. So make sure, guys, that we're looking at what that means if you're sitting on the top of a cliff. One more minute, guys. Tahiso's got an answer for us. Tandukolo's got an answer, and I've got 2 different answers. Ooh, okay, let's see. Lesedi's got an answer for me as well. Lesedi's one looks the same as as Apiwe's and as Kagiso's. Gift also gave an answer. Gift and Tandutolo have the same answer. Okay, we're getting two different answers. We're going to have to see who's actually correct. All right, okay. I can't wait any longer. The suspense is killing me. All right, let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. All right, so it says, from the top of a vertical cliff, 40 meters high. So I've got a cliff over here. There we go. There's my cliff. And just for good measure, I'm going to draw Gift at the top of my cliff. Yeah. Here we go. There's Gift. So, okay. So it says from the top of a vertical cliff, the angle of depression. So I already know that there's going to be like a straight line kind of. And from here downwards, going down, there's going to be an angle of 34 degrees. Gift, you look so handsome. So handsome. 34 degrees. Okay. Right. We also know that our cliff is 40 meters tall. I know. He's like right there on the edge of the cliff. We need to watch him. All right. So it said that the cliff is 40 meters tall, and I've got an angle of depression of 34 degrees, right? That is level with the base of the cliff. How far is the object from the base of the cliff? So there's an object. It's over here. There's our object. I'm going to call this object. Now it's saying, how far is it from the base of my cliff? Here's the base of my cliff. So what we want is this distance over here. Okay, now, if we remember, we looked at alternate angles. So if this is 34 degrees, this over here is also going to be 34 degrees. Okay, because of alternate angles. Right, so I know that I have, make some space here. I know that I have a 34 degree angle, and in relation to my 34 degree angle, I've got my opposite side, because from here to there, that's opposite. Okay, so I've got 34 degrees and I've got opposite. What do I want? Now, if I look at this in relation to my 34 degree angle, I'm going to want this side over here at 100%. I want my adjacent side. If we look at SOHCAHTOA, which one of these are we going to use? The SAW, the CA, or the TOA? We're going to use the TOA. Good. You have to be very careful. The CA would need the hypotenuse. We don't want the hypotenuse. We want the length from our object to the base of our cliff. Right. So we're going to use TOA. I'm going to go tan of 34 degrees is equal to my opposite, which is 40, over my adjacent, which is what I want. Okay, now I want to isolate my adjacent, so I'm going to multiply both sides by A, multiply by A, the A's will cancel. Oh, no, Matthew, same. It's just that I'm indoors, so I just can't leave, but I hope you're safe. Okay, so now I'm going to okay, so I've got A tan of 34 degrees is equal to 40. And then I'm going to divide both by 40 degrees. So by tan of 30 degrees, sorry, 34 degrees. Tan of 34 degrees. Cancel. Therefore, the distance of my object to the base is in fact 59,30 meters. So for those of you who got it correct, woohoo! Yay! Okay, for those of you who didn't quite get it and you got 48 comma something. Okay, I suspect that you guys used cos instead of tan. Okay, Gift says, but ma'am, from gift to the object is the hypotenuse. Yes, 100% gift, you are correct. From you to the object is the hypotenuse. But what did our question say that it wanted, gift? Our question said it wanted the distance from the object to the base of the cliff. Not to the top of the cliff, to the base. And this is the base of my cliff. Okay. Okay, Swelihle, can I ask you to DM Teacher Cat and tell her what kind of problems you're having? Okay, because it might be that your calculator isn't in degrees. Okay, and that's an easy fix. You just need to click Shift and then click Mode. Okay, and then wherever there's a degree, I think it's 3, click on that. All right, gift, we need to be very careful. Okay, so just have a look at the question and what it says. It says that we want how far the object is from the base of the cliff, which would be the bottom of my cliff. If it had asked what the distance is from the object to the top of my cliff, yes, 100% you guys would have used sine in this case, right? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, and you would have gotten 48, whatever it is that you guys got. But in this case, be very careful, guys. We're looking for the adjacent side to the angle. I know, it's okay. I'm glad we're making these mistakes here and now and not in a very important test or exam. All right, okay. We're going to have a look quickly at some exam type questions. Okay, so this comes from a grade 10 paper. I think it's from the Eastern Cape. And this is a June paper that I got this from. It is very easily accessible on the internet. Just Google exam papers grade 10, maths exam papers, and you'll be able to get your hands on these. I recommend it. Okay, so that you guys can actually work through these. All right, let's have a look here. It says, in the diagram below, AD is equal to 13 units, AB is equal to 12 units, and DC is equal to 3 units. Okay, DBA and DCB are two right angles in quadrilateral ABCD. Now, I know that the diagram shows like it has everything, guys. But what I need you to do is, if they give you this top part over here, please read it. Okay, read it. Read it. There are times, there are some instances where they give you the diagram, and then in this top part over here that they've written up top here, they give you the information, but they don't put it on the diagram. So if you don't read the diagram, you don't fill in the information, and then you start in an exam room, you start calling the teacher and you're like, sorry, ma'am, I think they made a mistake. They left out some information because I can't calculate. That time, your teacher's probably thinking, look at this one, not reading the question. Okay, so I'm going to ask this again. Tell me in the chat, guys. If they give me information up top here, what do I need to do with this information that they've given me up top here? Tell me in the chat. What do I do with the information? Thank you, David. Yes, absolutely. 100%. What do we do with the information once they've given it to us? It doesn't matter that there's a diagram, guys. If they've given you the information, what do? We read. We read it. Because there is a chance, there is a slight chance that some of the stuff they've written up top there is not on the diagram. So if you rely only on the diagram, you're going to miss things. And then you're going to start complaining that the question was unanswerable. Okay, so we're going to double check. We're going to use the information they've given us to double check that everything in the diagram is there. So they say that in the diagram below, AD is equal to 30 units. Good. AD is 13 units. Good. That one checks out. AB is 12. So AB is 12 units. That one checks out. DC, so DC is 3 units. That checks out. And then when we read this, guys, I want us to make sure that we all know how to read this. When it says to us, DBA. That means we're going to start looking from D to B, and you guys will notice that B has a little cappy on it, like a little cap. That cap means that's the angle that they're actually telling us about. So we're going to start at D, and we're going to go to B, and then from B to A. So we're going to go D, B, A. So the angle that they're actually telling us about is this one right here in the middle. And they say D, C, B. So I'm going to start at D, C, B. So the angle we're talking about here, because there's a copy on C, is this angle over here. They say those two angles are two right angles in the quadrilateral ABCD. Good. They've told us that it's a right angle. It's a right angle. Okay, so we've got the information that we need. Excellent. Cool. Let's look at question 1. Now it says, calculate the length of DB and BC. And I feel like Akwando's already given it away because Akwando's already given us the answer. How are we going to answer this question? How are we going to calculate the length of DB and BC? Akwando, if you'd like, you can pop your answer again in the chat so that people can see what it is that you've said. And David's also put it there as well. Exactly. Okay. Excellent stuff, guys. Okay. We're going to be looking at Pythag. Okay. Now, in any test, okay. Akwando, I'm not, oh, yes. Sounds like, I'm not 100% sure what happened there. But remember, it shouldn't be a plus in the middle. What does it need to be in the middle? Because we've got our hypotenuse. Okay. If we've got a 4-mark question, guys, normally you get 4 minutes to answer this kind of question. Okay. You've got 4 minutes. Okay, and I agree with Akwando and with David that we're going to be using Pythagoras. So we need to say AB squared plus DC squared is equal to AD squared. Now I have AD. It's DC that I don't have. Oh, not DC, DB. Sorry, DB. DB. And I also need to give 4 minutes gift, not 4 hours, 4 minutes. I also have to give my reason. Okay, Pythag. My reason Pythag needs to be there because I can't just punch things. I can't just put things on my page without understanding where they're coming from. So we're going to use Pythagoras, guys, to find the length of DB. Please pop the answer to DB in the chat once you're done. I know Teacher Cat's laughing. I know Gift is he's trying to be slick. I see you. I see you. David. Excellent. Okay, good. Everybody's getting the correct answer. If we just reshuffle things around, we're going to get 13 squared minus 12 squared is equal to DB squared. And then DB squared will be equal to 25. Therefore, DB will be equal to 5. Good. So we've got an answer for DB. DB is equal to 5. Now, remember, guys, we've only got this part here. So I'm going to give you 2 marks. 1, 2. I need you guys to now calculate for BC for me. Here's BC. Calculate for BC, please. Okay, now I've got that this side is 5. So I'm going to put my 5 in. And let me write it better. This side is 5 units long. Now you guys need to find me BC, please. Find me BC. Good. Akwande, I hope you're not just saying it's 4. Remember, this whole thing that I've done over here is very important. That's how we get the whole mark. Okay. We're not just making things up. We're actually like rearranging things to make sure that we're getting the correct answer. Good. All right. And I agree with you guys. BC is equal to 4. Okay, good. So you're going to get a mark for writing this part out for this one though. Okay, and you're also going to get 1 mark for the answer, continuous accuracy mark over here as well for the answer. All right, now it says, oh, I forgot to put this in. I forgot to put in that this is 4. Okay, now the question says, hence, guys, and I'm telling you now, when you see the word hence is kind of like therefore. Hence means use the information above, the information you've just calculated. Use the information above. Okay, that's what it means. Hence means look at what you did before and use that to answer this question. Okay, it says determine the value of the following without the use of a calculator. Without the use of a calculator, it says calculate the ratio of tan A. Now we need to go and look at A. Where is A? A is down here. Here's A. This is A. And they want the tan of this angle over here. The tan of this angle A. Now we know from SOHCAHTOA, which we've diligently written down on our paper before we get it, SOHCAHTOA, okay, that our tan of A will be equal to, punch it into the chat for me, guys. Remember, you don't have to give it to me in decimal form. You're not allowed to use a calculator. It's going to come out as a fraction. Okay, that's it, David. That is correct. Tan is going to be opposite over adjacent, right? Because of TOA. So that's going to be 4, not 4. No, I'm saying 4. 5. My opposite is 5 over my adjacent, which is opposite over adjacent. Okay. All right. Now let's look at this next one. This one is going to need a little bit of work here. Okay. The next one says the sec of ADB. Now, as soon as we see sec, we know that we need to revisit our cousins. Okay. We need to revisit our cousins. And Api was like, oh, what is sec? Oh no. Okay. Don't panic. Don't panic. It's fine. The cousins are our reciprocals. Okay. They are the reciprocals of sine, cos, and tan. So the reciprocal of sine is cosec. The reciprocal of cos is sec. And the reciprocal of tan is cot. Right. Now, remember, David, before we even go there, we know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So cosec is going to be hypotenuse over opposite. And we know cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. That means that sec is going to be hypotenuse over adjacent. Same with tan. If tan is opposite over adjacent, cot is going to be adjacent over opposite. Okay. Good. We just swapped the numbers. Good. We just swapped the numbers. So we don't have to go through that whole 1 over because it just makes it a lot more complicated. Just swap the numbers around. Okay. But we need to be very careful, guys. In this particular question, it says, we want the sec of ADB. So we need to find the angle D in relation to the triangle ADB. So let's go have a look. Okay. We want AD all the way to DB. So we're looking for this angle over here. We're looking for the sec, which is hypotenuse over adjacent of D. Can you guys find me the hypotenuse over adjacent of the angle D? Okay, we're looking for this angle over here. This one. What is the sec of D in this case? Sec is hypotenuse over adjacent. Pop your answer in the chat, guys. Okay. Remember, this side over here is going to be my adjacent. And this side over there is going to be my hypotenuse. And in relation to D, this side over here is going to be my opposite. Okay. Samuel, remember, have a look again. Okay. I'm looking for sec. And sec is the opposite of cos. Sec is hypotenuse, which is this, over adjacent. How much is my adjacent side in relation to D? Good. That's it, David and Kahiso. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Sec is going to be up here. that 12 is going to be my opposite, and I'm not looking for opposite, I'm looking for adjacent. So it's going to be 13 over 5. Good. So I'm going to have sec of ADB is 13 over 5 plus, okay, Lusanda, you can't give it as 2,6. And the reason for that is because they said without the use of a calculator. So if you start giving them decimals, they're going to be like, ah, we know what she did. We know what she did. And then we're going to mark it wrong. Okay. Okay, so you can't. You need to leave it in fraction form. All right, now we need to go look for the sign of DBC. Oh, okay. So now we need to go back to our triangle and we need to follow the order. The order is DBC. So we're going to start at DBC. And they want the angle B. They want the angle B. So we're looking for this angle here, the sine of this angle. But we already know what sine is. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So what is my sine of B, guys? Sine of this angle over here. Sine of B. Have a look in the triangle, in this triangle over here. What are we going to get? Okay, we are 1 minute over time, so we're just going to quickly, I know. We're just going to quickly answer this question. Guys, remember sine is saw. So we need opposite over hypotenuse, and that's it, Kahi. So that's what we're looking for. My opposite side is going to be 3, and this won't be the adjacent anymore. This is now the hypotenuse of my smaller triangle. So it's going to be that. So my opposite over my hypotenuse will be 3 over 5. So I'm going to get 3 over 5. Okay. Then we just need to add our two fractions. They have the same denominator. So 13 plus 3 is 16 over 5. And David is like, I was looking at the wrong triangle. Okay. All right. Okay. We're going to pick it up from here. We're going to be doing a lot more exam questions on Wednesday.